All right, solutions for quiz 7, Math 95. This first one, I think we've done this enough in class, you might just have it memorized and know exactly how to do it. But really the idea is, okay, when you're trying to add or subtract radicals like this, square roots in this case, you can't just immediately subtract the square root of 8 from the square root of 2. 8 minus 2 is 6 or something. That doesn't work. What we need to do is have the exact same thing under the radical in order to be able to subtract them. So what we can do is we can simplify the square root of 8. We can say 8 is really just 4 times 2, and 4 is 2 times 2. So 8 is 2 cubed. In other words, the square root of 8, sure. Instead of the square root of 8 here, I could say it's the square root of 2 cubed minus the square root of 2. And the advantage of having it written this way is I can do my little good radical, bad radical trick. I have 3 of these 2's, but since it's a square root, I want to pair them up to put them on my good side. So one pair, 2 of these guys goes over here, and the remainder over here. The square root of 2 squared is just 2. So what I get is that root 8 is really the same as 2 root 2. And 2 root 2 minus root 2, 2 of these things minus 1 of these things is just 1 of these things. So my final answer would just be the square root of 2. Kind of along those same lines, you can find the prime factorization of 24. 24 is 8 times 3. 8 is 2 times 4, which is 2 times 2. So 24 is 2 cubed times 3. And 81, well, let's see, that's 9 times 9. And 9 is 3 times 3. So 81 is 3 to the 4th power. So what I can do is I can say, all right, the cubed root of 24, that's really just the cubed root of 2 cubed times 3. And to that I want to add the cubed root of 81, but 81 is really just 3 to the 4th power. And so if I simplify both of these using my good radical, bad radical trick, I can say, get these all written down. I have 3 of these 2's, and since it's cubed root, I want to put groups of 3 on the good side. So one group of 3, 2 to the 3rd power over here, and that's all of them. 3's, I only have 1 of them. I don't have enough to put them on the good side, so I'll just leave it over here on the bad side. 3 to the 4th power, okay, I have 4 of them. 3 of them I can put over here on the good side, then I'll be left with 1 over here on the bad side. The cubed root of 2 to the 3rd power is just 2. So this is 2 cubed root of 3. And over here, the cubed root of 3 to the 3rd power is just 3. So this is 3 cubed root of 3. 2 of these things plus 3 of these things sounds like 5 of these things, which is my final answer. Because I should have equal signs in here. 5 root 3, or 5 cubed root 3, final answer. All right, part 2. Solve the following equations for x. Okay, it's hard to solve because of this square root sign, so we want to get rid of this square root sign. The way you get rid of the square root sign is you isolate it, meaning make it so that everything on one side of the equation is just that square root sign. We're already there. Nice. And then square both sides of the equation. If I square both sides of the equation, I get 12 minus 4x is equal to x squared. Squaring this square root, it cancels out. X squared, x squared. Now I need to solve this equation for x. The way you solve this equation for x is by setting it equal to 0. Maybe add 4x to both sides of the equation and then subtract 12 from both sides of the equation. And you'll get x squared plus 4x minus 12 equals 0. And the advantage to setting it equal to 0 when you have x squared and x, when you have a quadratic equation like this, is we can factor it. Since my leading coefficient is a 1 here, I just need 2 numbers that multiply to negative 12 and add to positive 4. See, I think positive 6 and negative 2 will do the trick. So x squared plus 4x minus 12 is really just x plus 6 times x minus 2. Maybe I'll write the equals 0 on this side, just because I'm used to having my variables on the left. Now I got something times something equals 0. That tells me that either x plus 6 equals 0 or x minus 2 equals 0. So either x equals negative 6 or x equals positive 2. So we're done. These are the answers. No. On these types of problems, you always have to check your answers. Let's check x equals negative 6. Let's see, I might need a little more room. Let's write it up here. Well, let's see, if x equals negative 6, I got the square root of 12 minus 4. Write that better. 12 minus 4 times negative 6. My question is, does that equal negative 6? Well, the answer is no. I can tell you it's no because there's nothing that I can take the square root of to give me a negative number. There's no way this will work. But you can keep going. 12 minus, let's see, this would be minus negative 24, which is the same as 12 plus 24, which is the same as 36. So my question is the square root of 36 equal to negative 6? No. 36, square root of 36 does not equal 6. So this is not a solution. What about x equals 2? Let's check it. Well, I would have the square root of 12 minus 4 times 2. And my question is, does that equal 2? Well, let's see, this would be the square root of 12 minus 8. 12 minus 8 is 4. Square root of 4 equals 2. Yep, sure does. So this is a solution. So my answer is x equals 2. All right, moving on. This last part, kind of short on room. Maybe I can squeeze it in if I change colors. All right, same idea here. I want to get rid of this square root. I can't get rid of the square root unless it's isolated. To isolate it, I have to subtract 1 from both sides of the equation. Square root of 2x plus 1 is equal to x minus 1. Now I want to square both sides of the equation. 2x plus 1 equals, if you do x minus 1 squared, maybe I'll write it. That's x minus 1 times x minus 1. That is x squared minus 2x plus 1. To solve this equation, we want to set it equal to 0. Subtract 2x from both sides, subtract 1 from both sides. You get x squared minus 4x plus 0. Get 0 equals x squared minus 4x. So I subtracted 2x from both sides, and I subtracted 1 from both sides. Gets me here. To solve this, all we have to do is factor out an x. We could say x squared minus, well, let me draw some arrows to make this more clear. Let's hop up here. I got x squared minus 4x equals 0. If I factor out an x, that gives me x times x minus 4 equals 0. That tells me either x equals 0 or x minus 4 equals 0. That is x equals 4. We got to check our answers. That's where? I don't know. Up here maybe. Check x equals 0. Well, then I would have the square root of 2 times 0 plus 1. That's still under the square root sign. And then plus 1. That's not going to fit. Let's try that again. I would have the square root of 2 times 0 plus 1 equals 0. I don't think that's true because 2 times 0 is 0, so this is just the square root of 1 plus 1 equals 0. No, it doesn't. 1 plus 1 does not equal 0. So this is not a solution. What about x equals 4? Let's check that one. Well, the square root of 2 times 4 plus 1, does that equal 4? Yeah, I think it does. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. Square root of 9 plus 1 equals 4. Yep, it sure does, because this is 3 plus 1, which is 4. So I guess I should have put the check on the next line. Square root of 9 is just 3. 3 plus 1 sure does equal 4. So this right here is my solution, my one and only solution. And that is finally the end of this quiz.